Hello there, traders. Welcome back to my webinar live. And today is Friday, the 21st of October, 2022. Now, welcome. And once again, thank you very much for attending my webinar today, live from Cyprus in Limassol today. And we've got quite a number of things to discuss, but mainly it's a market wrap-up today through Bretton. My name is Kenny Simon, and we are going to be going through some of the trades, especially because we've got loads of questions coming from traders on this week's trade. Now, me personally, as a trader, an active trader on a daily basis, myself, I am looking at more quality, not quantity, or the number of trades that I do for the whole week. So hence the reason I've also given a bit of an idea of how I actually trade and the type of performance that you could be expecting as well from my guidance and my mentorship or my coaching. And here you can actually take a look at a live account. This is a live account on 10 Trade, for example. I use multiple platforms as well, but because of the price feeds and the sharpness of price feeds and latency, I prefer to have the platform for analytical purposes. 10 Trades platform, but on top of that, I also prefer the dashboard of 10 Academy to be my preferred choice of a dashboard or platform to conduct my my analysis. So this is where I would like to always guide you through in trend analysis, but before the trend analysis, of course, to pick out the right pair, because from the results of trading, I mean, over 13, 14 years of my trading experience has actually been really good, but that didn't actually happen from the start or from the first time. It took me a couple of years to just get adjusted to the whole idea of understanding the 2 or 3 types of analysis in Forex trading, especially your technical, your fundamental analysis, and your sentiments analysis. Now, I understand that, most of us who are new to Forex, we tend to be quite tempted to believe that technical analysis is everything. And then the more we actually analyze the market technically, the more we would have a trade plan. But the thing is that a trade plan and a trade setup, they are not the same thing. And technical analysis probably would work, at certain times of the certain time of the year, and you've got certain times of the year that you've got market conditions that would actually encourage more accurate technical analysis or more accurate fundamentals. So in my experience, combining the two, fundamental and technical analysis, is more of a better approach in terms of balancing out the 2 or 3 types of analysis that you actually do. So at least have a balance of the two in order for you to actually gain some skills on both fundamental analysis and technical analysis. But what's more important than the analysis itself is to have a sequential step in your approach in analyzing the market or researching and analyzing the market. So loads of traders I notice is that they jump straight away into technical analysis, so they lack the steps in a trade plan. So in today's market wrap-up, today is Friday, so Fridays we do a market wrap-up, just going through certain trade ideas and trade signals that has actually been released, certain trade setups as well. But of course, we want to also look at what are the movers in the market, especially on currencies and gold as well, if at all, precious metal and other instruments as well. Okay, so a lot has been going on, so I always encourage traders to start off with going out of your chart and not start off with just the chart straight away. Now, the best thing to do is to go onto a hub like the 10 Academy, or a center that you've got all the tools like the economic calendars there, the heat maps there, and various other tools for you to actually conduct an analysis out of the chart. So you've got a sentiments analysis that can actually be conducted out of the chart and out of technical analysis, out of news trading, out of news analysis as well, because we could always do a sentiments analysis, understanding whether or not it's a risk off, risk on market, just with basic tools and like the heat map, top 10 movers, for example, just to get a bit of an idea. And then we go on to news as well to understand whether or not for that day we have got breaking news. Now, this is all arranged in such a way that whatever steps that I'm actually sharing with you from number one, from step one, step 2, 3, 4, 5, it's exactly working it out through the PRICE trade plan. So a lot of times traders ask me, what's the price PRICE trade plan all about? Can you actually explain? The best way to actually explain it is by going through it and analyzing the markets with these essential steps or these sequential steps. So step one, we've got various tools and strategies. And one of the things that I want to begin with is your news side of it, of course. You want to actually understand a little bit in the 10 Academy's platform itself or dashboard, we've got this option here that says news. Now you just need to click onto it, and then you would be getting a for those who have actually have not access or gain access or logged in into your dashboard, your 10 Academies dashboard, or registered to the 10 Academies dashboard. This is me explaining to you what are the elements. Now we've got videos explaining that as well. We've got videos that will be posted very soon on to how you navigate through the whole dashboard of 10 Academy. Okay, so here we start off with the news, and as you guys already know, we've got the most recent hot news or breaking news is the Prime Minister of UK, Truss, or Madam Truss or Mrs. Truss, or Miss Truss, I think, have actually resigned, and that calls out for more turbulence in the market when the UK is concerned, both politically and economically, but also geopolitically. So there's a lot of news, as you guys can see behind me. We've got all these boxes. One that says the UK political crisis has demanded its ultimate sacrifice. You've got it concentrated on UK. And you've got another one here, Liz Truss, UK political turmoil continues. You've got UK again. You've got more UK ones. You've got lots of focus on the UK news due to what has actually gone on. And then we have got new dollar on focus. We've also got JPY or Japan in focus as well. They're dumping the dollar a lot. China is dumping the dollar as well. What that means is they're getting rid of their reserves that are in the US dollar. But China is not doing it directly. They're actually buying US bonds and all that, and then selling it off and things like that. And a lot of the Asian markets are actually tumbling at the moment with the inflation that is still rocket high and going up and up and up, especially in the US. So that has rocked the economic situation in Asia at the moment, mainly because, all the buying power comes from this side of it. Also, the manufacturing side of it, the biggest factory in the world, of course, as you guys and girls know, is in China, or from China. They produce most of the minerals and also commodities that they actually buy, precious metal, rare earths, and everything else, especially from Australia. So Chinese are buying, and that actually is a bilateral trade agreement that has actually gone on for many years. So that would then create a trading triangle amongst, between China and Australia and New Zealand. Hence the reason we've got a bit of a correlation. Whatever that goes on in China would then impact the antipodian currencies, as I've mentioned to you guys, and that's for Australia and New Zealand dollar. So the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar are called the antipodian currency. So sometimes you may actually be bumping into this word antipodium. Now you know what it actually means. It's just a category of currencies that involve the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. So that's basically it. So we've got the news section right here. Now, when you go onto the dashboard and you click onto the dashboard itself, after you've gone on to the news section, it will be wise to also go on to the heat map, the FX heat map, in order for you to get a bit of an idea of trend. Now, the heat map does not function as a signal provider. Now, I do not believe in signal providers. I believe in the signals that are provided by yourselves and also collectively between myself and my mentees or coachees and students. But this would actually be a case of focusing or overly focusing on the fish if you are just relying on signals. What we do here at Bretton Academy is to make sure that you are investing in yourself so that skills are actually attained as opposed to just giving you the fish. And then just giving you the fish would actually be very detrimental, would actually be, very risky for me as a professional mentor to do that, because then what happens if I'm not available on that day to actually provide you with anything, whether it's education, webinar, or even signals, or even answer your questions when you do have it. So hence the reason it's best to invest in yourself in getting the skills, the right skills to researching and analyzing the market, and then knowing how to actually use certain tools that would actually be very useful for you in order to pick the right pair. But before that, to understand the trend first, sentiments of the market, and various other elements that are more important than just focusing on what to trade for the day. Because what to trade for the day should actually come at the very last, at the fifth step of the PRICE trade plan, which is the E, which is step 5, that stands for execution of the trade, if only your step 1, 2, 3, 4 has given you the right checklist into the market. So there you go. Now, once you've actually clicked onto the tools section, you've gone on to the news section already. Let's say get a bit of an idea of breaking news, hot headlines, for example. Then you can always go on to the tools section, and then you've got various tools right here. It is also wise for us to know what's been stored in the economic calendar in terms of economic data releases for the day as well. So there you could always click onto the economic calendar as well, just to get a bit of an idea of high impact, medium to high impact economic data releases. Some speeches by governors of banks and central banks, governors especially, would also be classified or categorized as high impact. So we want to also, be aware of the timing of these speeches as well, and the timing of the data releases, the economic data releases. So this is where the economic calendar plays a vital role in understanding what happens when, and especially for medium to high impact news. Now, when we get to the FX heat map, this is where we want to take a look again. And I want to make it a point that in every webinar of mine, I'll just revise a little bit on how you actually use or apply the heat map and what's the heat map all about, because this is a very essential tool. Now, again, I would warn you guys that it's not a tool to just know it and then straight away you jump into your trading platform and clicking onto either buy or sell. It doesn't work like that. For me, at least, it doesn't work like that. It would actually be working for some, and luck plays a vital role when you have got a lucky streak at the very beginning as well. That can actually happen, but that's not the main reason why or how to actually use the Forex heat map. Now, this heat map right here, as you guys know, I've already mentioned it many times, and I'll mention it many times over in order for you guys to, for those who are new as well, to understand how do you actually apply the Forex heat map. Now, it's really simple, but most of the heat maps, you want to begin with the currencies on the left first. So don't look at currencies at the very top. Start with the currencies on the left hand panel, and let's say when you start off with the left-hand panel currencies, all you need to also notice simultaneously is look at a straight row, not column. You see a straight row that has got a uniform color, whether it is all green, highlighted green, not faded green, or highlighted red, not faded red. Now the one here are all faded red, yeah, and then you've got faded green, but this one here in the row of USD, it shows that most of the currency boxes right here are highlighted in green. That basically means that USD is more bullish than the other currencies at the very top. And then what you do is once you have actually focused on a highlighted row with the most boxes with one uniform color, then you look at the highest number. So here we know that USD is still very bullish with, compared to the rest of the currencies at the very top. Then you look at the highest number that I can actually spot is 0.85 right here. Don't worry about the numbers and the percentages of how it's been derived and things like that. Okay, so it's one of the tools that we are actually applying as of trading, for the last couple of months already. It's been really good. It complies with the heat map, more or less complies, or sometimes it gives you extra information, vice versa, with the one on Action Forex, the heat map on actionforex.com. So here I find it more convenient to have most or majority of your tools or elements that you need in one place, the 10 Academy dashboard. So here we have got USD very bullish against the GBP, which basically means GBP USD is reasonably, or I would say either moderately to highly bearish compared to the USD. So we've got one row right there highlighted. It shows some flow and activities amongst USD crosses. So USD crosses are also called your major pairs. Major pairs are pairs that have got USD in it. So these are, I think it's about 7 or so top major pairs that you can actually trade on the platform. Now, as we scroll down a little bit more, we don't actually see that kind of a row like what you could actually see on the USD row. On the USD row or USD section, we could see that it's all, bright green and it's highlighted green. It's not inactive, it's active, and we've got the numbers in percentages building up as well. So in other words, this itself is already giving you a hint that it's probably best for us today, as of now, looking at the table. Maybe it could change for you when you look at it in 1 hour's time, or maybe in 3 hours time. We don't know that, but this is updated every 10 to 15 minutes or so. Now, here it is hinting us very strongly that we should be looking at USD crosses, mainly maybe because we have got USD data releases today. We don't know that. So what we then do is go on to your economic calendar, and it's probably best to also use the one that we have here and go on to your economic calendar. It's under tools. And once you go onto your tools, as I've shown earlier on, you would be able to spot the economic calendar tool. Oops, got a little bit of it's been doing that since yesterday. I need to have this checked out. I log in and then it logs me out automatically. Give me a second. Okay, meanwhile, while waiting, let's just not waste more time. And could see that Friday, the 21st of October, what I would like to see is whether or not we have got medium to high impact. We've got majority of the economic data releases on today's economic calendar is showing me medium impacted data releases, and that would actually be impacting the New Zealand dollar, of course, New Zealand, Japan, the Japanese yen, as well as the British pound. We've got a long list of NZD, JPY, and GBP data releases. So I would guess it will only be giving us more and more hints of volatility involving these crosses. So the NZD crosses, the JPY crosses, and the GBP crosses, we need to monitor that. So what I would do is also, since I've got a bit of a problem with the logging into the 10 Academy, let me just try again. Okay, hope it's okay this time. Okay. It probably is the connection or any reason, but generally it's quite good and fast to actually log in. I'll just go on to the admin side of it, given by the IT. Right. So I had some issues, so I had to go onto the WordPress login site. A second. Right. I hope it's okay. Give me a second. Meantime, while waiting, you can always go on to the heat map of Action Forex as well. And we'll look at the generic one right here. Then we'll compare that with the ones on the 10 Academy as well. Now, we could see if we start off with the USD itself, we have got 1, 2 straight dark blue columns. This is what we want. We want either the dark red ones or the dark blue ones. The dark blue ones is giving us hints that it's strongly bullish. So what that means is you start off with the currency on the left. So USD is stronger or more bullish than the JPY. USD is more bullish and stronger than the CHF. And I would prefer for all 4 rows to actually be to be one color. And that could actually be the dark blue or dark red. So here, USD JPY is very bullish and USD CHF. So we can actually write down and pick out USD JPY and USD CHF in order for us to do a further trend analysis. When we go into Euro versus JPY is good for us to pick as well, and Euro CHF. Then when we go into JPY is really weak or very bearish against the USD and also Euro. So that's showing it right here. Now, GBP, not just yet. It doesn't have any straight columns, so perhaps not yet clear in terms of its trend. But CHF versus USD, as mentioned earlier on, really strong, strongly bearish against the USD. So CHF or Swiss franc is seen to be very weak or strongly bearish against the USD. So apart from that, we don't have a lot more, but I think we can also start off with Euro JPY. So let's get back to this one here. And as I've mentioned, we can go back to the tools. We can also go back second. Okay, so let's say we are taking into consideration that we've looked into the tools and various others in order for us to pick it out. Now, we need to combine whatever that's been going on the heat map as well as the top 10 movers together with what we expect to be released in terms of economic data releases in the economic calendar as well. Combine that and then come up with the right pairs to actually trade. Now, it's no surprise that we would most probably be seeing a kind of synchronicity between what we have seen on the economic calendar with a heat map and various other tools, and then we see that as well reflected onto the top 10 movers. So let's take a look at top 10 movers on action.forex. We have got top 10 here. Okay, and once you've clicked on that, you could see that the only one out of all these 10 is the USD JPY, which seems to be really strongly bullish on all time frames, 4-hour, daily, weekly, and monthly. And do we actually really believe this 100%? The answer to that is no. We need to confirm and basically check it again and to know of whether or not what we see on the top 10 movers, what we see on the heat map are really reflecting what's going on onto the charts and in the market, especially with price. So here we have got USD JPY really clear. We have got lots of focus on GBP here, GBP here. Got USD all around the way as well. We've got a bit of a mixed bag, more balanced bag of currencies that are actually moving, top 10 currencies that are actually moving at this moment of time. We have got some AUDs, CADs as well, but that also means that there may be some focus on not only antipoded currencies, because we've got NZD as well, but also commodity currencies. So commodity currencies are your Canadian dollar, your South African rand, New Zealand dollar, and Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, CAD, and the ZAR as well. So yeah, we have got some mixed bag. USD JPY is still going strong. It's got like it's looking like there's no point of return kind of thing. But of course, at some point, we would need to expect a reversal at some point. Now, the reason why I do avoid trading USD JPY at this moment of time, it's mainly because when I go on to the trend analysis for USD JPY, I would prefer to look into correlated pair of USD JPY, not USD JPY directly, mainly because I lack the information of a referral point to the far left. When you go onto USD JPY and you want to scroll and you want to look at past or previous mother candles and everything that is following the current price, we have no price reference there. So hence the reason I'm avoiding the USD JPY, but I would trade or look into trend analyzing pairs that are correlated to the USD JPY. Now, one way to find correlated pairs as well is when you go on to MATAF, M-A-T-A-F, and we've got a correlation table right there. And once you are on the USD JPY, let's say you're looking at USD JPY, USD CAD is here, and USD, Euro USD right here. You just want to look at the highest number I can see is 91, and then it points to GBP USD. So now it's saying that the Euro USD is highly correlated, positively correlated, because there's no negative sign. If you've got a negative sign like this one here, that means it's negatively correlated. It's still, it moves the same, but not just exactly the same, but it's got its combination in a way whereby one moves like that and one moves directly to the opposite side. That's called negative correlation. If one moves like that and it goes the same way, that's your positive correlation or positively correlated. Now, Euro USD, you pick out the higher the number, the better. Then you've got it positively correlated to GBP USD, also the NZD USD, NZD CAD. I usually like to look at the numbers above 80, and I don't consider the rest. If not, you'll be picking out too many pairs to actually trade or trend analyze it. So here on the negative correlation side of it, or negatively correlated, would be USD CAD. So we need to look at the USD JPY, and it's not here. You can always click on USD JPY. There you go. Once you click on that, that should appear here. USD CAD, USD CHF. I don't see the USD JPY as yet. Okay, that's a little bizarre. It's usually there. USD, maybe it's on this list, but okay. No, it's not. Right. Let's try again. We have got Euro right here, GBP, NZD. We've got USD, JPY. There you go. So we click on that, and once it's already here, then you could see it pop up here. USD CAD, USD JPY. There you go. So USD JPY, if we look for the highest number that I could see right here, we have got 88 right there, 89 right there as well. 89, it is euro positively correlated to Euro NZD. So we can always look at Euro NZD and then to get a better idea of what USD JPY is doing, okay, because it's positively correlated. So let's take a look at what is happening in New Zealand Euro NZD, just as an example first. Can always look at Euro JPY as well, since I've already got it here. Now, Euro JPY, as you can see, we've already hit the take profit of the geometric bullish pattern right here. We'll get rid of this. This is in the past, basically. So we'll look at a couple of what I would prefer to look at are referral points. Like, let's say if you were to click on the monthly chart, then you can actually notice this immediately. We have got a resistance area. The current price of Euro JPY is at 147.28, 29. As it goes up and up and up, it would bump into the 147.50 psychological number. So what I would do is to quickly lay out the 147.50 area. Okay, so 147.50 psychological level. This psychological level is exactly where the current price is right now. As we zoom in a little bit, we want to also pay attention to this area right here. You can always mark off the wick right there, another wick right here. Okay, perhaps that highest selling price, opening price right there as well on the candle. We can always type another one. So as you guys can see, we have got multiple horizontal lines marked in red that is marking the resistance area. So at any moment of time, it could potentially, reverse. But also, if you want to know whether or not there is a chance, opportunity for reversal right now, or based on the monthly chart, of course, it's a bit longer term, is to look at the stochastics and to look for divergence instead, to give us a bit of a hint of whether or not the market is, yes, it's going up right now, whether or not it will be reversing. So here itself on the monthly chart, we seem to have a little bit of a divergence right here. Now, as you guys can see, we have got a high right here, a low, a high, low again, and then current price. So from this high to the current price is a slope to the upside. Okay, but here we have got the exact same area. This is your high right here, but then to the current price is a slope to the downside right there. So we could see that the purple line that symbolizes the higher highs to higher highs, or lower lows, and various other ways of looking at how you draw that trend line from peak to peak or from valley to valley. Now, this one here, it's an upward slope on the candlesticks and then a downward slope on the stochastics itself. So that means there is a mismatch. If there is a mismatch, this is called a divergence. And if you've got a divergence, then we are expecting a reversal, right? So there you go. Now, here we could see that that's on the monthly chart. As we go on to the weekly chart first, we could see that it's looking like there's a bit of a divergence here as well. Let's just start off with this one here. Now, this one here to the current price is a flat line. Now, on the candlestick chart, it's a high to a higher high, and that is a slope up. This is a slope flat. So that's again another divergence on the weekly chart. So it does tell us that there may be a possibility for Euro JPY to actually reverse. So we want to also look at mother candles at the past and opening prices and closing prices as well of various candlesticks. So here, for example, we have got on the daily chart, we've got a high right here and then another high right there. Slight movement of price from high to higher high, and if it's the peak right here, we've got a slope right there, more slopey on the candlesticks, but slightly to a flatter side of it on the daily chart. So this is again giving us a lack of confidence to really know exactly where to actually enter or the direction of the market. Now let's go to the 4-hour chart. Now with the 4-hour chart, let's just take a look. We probably have no divergence, or there may be a divergence here because we got a high right here, and to the current price slightly. The last candle that you can see especially is, or the current price area, is a flat to slightly slopey. But then if we draw the same area right here, we could see that this is a very clear divergence of a downward type slope on the stochastic itself. So this does actually tell me that perhaps the market is gearing to a reversal. Now, this is for Euro JPY, but the trend overall, if we look at the 1-hour chart, we could see it's above all 3 lines right there. On the 4-hour chart, very strong to the upside. On the daily chart, similarly very strong. You can always look at the weekly chart and look at current price, and then plan further of whether or not it would be ideal for us to enter the trade or not. Now, at this stage, we have got the 2 lines that are already drawn. All these 4 lines are your resistance. It's probably better for it to reverse first, and then we plan forward later on. Okay, guys, any questions at all? Any questions? Either on YouTube? No questions. Okay, good. So if we have no questions, I would like to end the session for today. If we've got more questions, we can actually go on to the questions and then work it out that way. Okay, so apart from that, I think we are looking at, for gold, we're looking at a bit of a bounce potential to the upside. It is actually trading at very close to some significant support levels as well. So yeah, there you go. This is gold on the 4-hour, and USD JPY, as you guys can see, highly or strongly bullish for USD JPY. This is CAD CHF. I did a bit of a trade right there, if not mistaken. A very short-term trade on CAD CHF. It hit TP, gave me a little bit right there, but we've got the rest that were contributing to a good run for this week with just a couple of trades, and that's been very good. GBP CAD and GBP USD. So there you go. It's trading at 1.1148, very close to the 50 psychological level. Also, as it moves downwards, it would bump into the 1.1120 psychological level. So if we're looking at potential downward movement or trend, which is no clear trend in the 1-hour chart, 4-hour chart, got all the 3 lines going sideways for GBP USD. It's only from daily onwards that we see a pickup of momentum to the downside potentially for GBP USD. At this moment of time, as we've mentioned, it is at the 50 psychological level, very close to the 50 psychological level for GBP USD. So with GBP USD, it's probably more waiting in order for us to get a very clear indication that something is rocking the UK not very nicely. So that basically is giving a negative impact to the GBP or the British pound. So I, for example, would see more potential to the downside. We're actually trading, if we were looking at just the current price right here, as you can see on the daily chart, price is at 1150s area, still the same. Now we see that to the left we have got this very bearish mother candle. So here itself on the bearish mother candle, you can always put a resistance line onto the opening price of the bearish mother candle, and then you want to put support right here on the mother candle as well, on the closing price of that mother candle right there. So when you look to the left slightly, I mean, it will come with practice, of course, you would be able to notice that this is where price is trading in within a bearish zone of previous mother candle in the past, right? So this was a fall from this top area, and then a fall to the bottom red line, and then it was an appreciation to the upside from the bottom red line to the top red line, and then again it came down, but it didn't really reach the red line. So what that means is it's probably trying to find a lower price, a higher price first before it plunges the price down. So in my guess, I think we are still, I mean, the GBP prices are trading in within a bearish zone. So this is where the bearish zone comes in and showing you that this is indeed a bearish zone that it is actually operating as well. So for me, from what I actually look at, the bias is more to the downside for GBP USD. If we're trading on the daily chart, it's probably best when we do an analysis on the daily chart, because it's really clear and we might not be able to see what we see here with the mother candle as well on shorter time frames. Okay, so on the shorter time frames, you've got to scroll a little bit to get to the current price. But here on the 1 hour chart itself, we do have a potential selling zone marked by this very long candle right here. Now, this very long mother candle itself is worth about 110 pips right there. So we can always plan this up properly in order for us to also, you see the red line that we have drawn immediately on the 1 hour chart, it found the support right there and just stuck at that level right there, and then moving to the upside. Okay, so as we go to the 4 hour chart, we could see all that is happening right there. So we can always look at it at this angle, whereby as lower as the prices get for GBP USD, if it does actually go under 1150 psychological level, so we can always start selling at 1140, like now it's at 1142, so on and so forth. But the fall that we would need to be quite careful as it falls. We have got an area here marked by the opening price of this mother candle right here, and that was at 1103. So 1103 or 1100 is your psychological level. So I think I would wait if I were to sell, and looking at the trend, the predominant trend is to bias to the sell side of it, then I would want to take or participate in that sell. But I wouldn't actually participate in the sell until prices go lower. And I see that this is a threat area where prices could potentially go in battle here between sellers and buyers. So I think in my analysis right here, it's marked at 1102. So I would think 1.0990 would actually be an ideal selling area, and that could then be supported by this long candle right here. And this long candle itself, just the body in itself, is worth about 197 pips. Okay, so that is quite significant. So it is a bit of a waiting. I would prefer for it to go lower than 1100, so to actually be able to enter the market properly. Okay, all right, guys, so that's all I have for you guys. If you've got no questions, we'll see you again on Monday, on Monday's market week ahead review, and we'll take it from there. So meantime, enjoy your weekend to everyone. Have a great one, and rest well too, and we'll see you guys